Hi, I'm Ken Cobley, President and CEO of the Alberta Chambers of Commerce. We spent the last 24 hours looking at this year's Alberta Budget, 2018-2019 budget that was presented in the House on Thursday. Certainly, anybody that knows me knows that I'm an optimistic type of person, but even my optimism is stretched to its limit given where the government has projected the path to balance to be. They projected that and this whole plan getting to balance by 2023-24 depends on the Kinder Morgan pipeline being constructed, piping oil by 2021. If that doesn't happen, simply the path to balance is not going to happen by 2023-24. I guess everybody's looked at what the political pundits have been out there in the news talking about as their considered highlights. What strikes me in this budget is that our projected deficit for 2018-19 is going to be $9 billion. By contrast, the deficit for the Government of Canada is going to be $18 billion. So for the entire country, their deficit is going to be twice the size of Alberta's. The other thing that strikes me is that we're going to be taking on an additional $12 billion of new borrowing this year. And with new borrowing comes the requirement to pay it back at some point in time. On the current plan that we see before us, at the end of 2023-24, we're going to have $96 billion in debt that is, after we get into the black, is going to have to be repaid somehow. And again, those numbers are very optimistic and contingent on the Kinder Morgan pipeline proceeding and reducing the discount that we currently pay on the bitumen that we export. If we take a look at where, just in general terms, where the deficit is going, again this year it's $9.1 billion and estimated to clear up by 2023-24. Operating costs, we had hoped that government would take a look at somehow restraining their operating expenditures. I mean, we're not talking about huge hacks and cuts. We're talking about perhaps even staying at holding the line at 0% operating costs. Simply put, over the next 5-6 years, those operating costs will go up on average each and every year by 3%. Certainly, this is a budget that is optimistic on the part of the government of Alberta, but I think it's really laden with some very definite risk for Albertans and for future generations. If you haven't already taken a look at the budget documents attached to this news release, we've attached copies of the provincial government's own budget documents. I suggest that you take a look at them. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call. 1-800-272-8854, extension 5 at the Alberta Chambers of Commerce. Thanks.